beloved artists. Here's how to order. Call toll-free now for Opera's Golden Moment. 3 cassettes, $24.98. 3 CDs, $29.98. Call now.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Good Saturday evening. I'm Sharon Resulton joining you live from the Weather Channel Forecast Center to bring you the very latest on our major winter storm. Let's go ahead and look at what states are being impacted by this. There are actually 2 areas of low pressure and plenty of wintry precipitation. As we head further southward, though, lots of warmer air and plenty of low-level moisture and a lot of lift going on in the atmosphere. That spells all the ingredients for severe weather. Kim Perez is in the studio to tell you more about that.
That's right, Sharon. The good news is we haven't seen any warnings in a while, although we just got issued a new tornado watch extending all the way into central Florida, including Tampa. So this is until 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's happening is the thunderstorms off the coast, off the Gulf Coast, are really starting to develop here, and they're starting to intensify. Let's take a look here, if we could. Thank you. Lightning data indicating this right now off the coast. These storms will be moving eastward again into an area that is still very unstable in parts of central Florida. The front is not through this area, so we'll be looking at Tampa northward for these thunderstorms to come on shore, and the possibility of tornadoes is there tonight. And even a closer shot here showing it's maybe about a half hour away or an hour away from getting there, so now is the time to take the necessary precautions. Now for more on the winter storm, let's go back to Sharon.
Okay, Kim, thanks a lot. There is plenty to talk about as far as the snowfall is concerned. Let's go ahead and show you some of the amounts that have come down so far around the Great Lakes. And significant amounts, all those areas in gray indicating where we've seen 6 to 12 inches of snowfall and over a foot in the areas in bright white. That includes Chicago, South Bend, and on up toward Milwaukee. Those are some of the areas that are still seeing the snow flying. And Detroit going to be adding more to that as we've got some heavier snow around the Detroit area. Some of the actual numbers: 17 inches at Midway Airport in Chicago. O'Hare reporting 16 inches, 14 inches in South Bend and Milwaukee. A foot of snow with more light snow coming down. So as you can imagine, your travel weather, well, pretty tough travel. In fact, it's not recommended as we head across the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes region. Extending into the eastern Great Lakes, more icy precipitation. We've had several hours now of some freezing rain heading into portions of northeastern Ohio, stretching up toward Niagara and Buffalo. And there must be some significant icing in and around the Cleveland area. With more now on what's happening in a couple different locations in the nation, we'll take you to some live reports. We've got Jim Cantori standing by in Chicago and Mike Seidel in Albany. We'll start things out first with Jim.
Sharon, we've just received word from O'Hare out of American that they will attempt to release 50% of the aircraft for the scheduled flights as of 11 o'clock tomorrow. So that's a far cry from where we are tonight, where basically nothing is being released because of the weather tonight. So they're really hoping that things improve tomorrow with regards to the snow. Not as intense as it has been over the past 24 hours, and also the wind. We've got the wind. The wind has pretty much died down, but unfortunately what we think is going to happen is the wind's going to start picking up again as this low center begins to move away from us. We're sitting right now in northwestern Indiana. As it pulls away, the wind field on the outer fringes of this may pick up again. So all this very, very light snow. I mean, this is a very it's kind of hard to do this because we've had snow blowers and whatnot pound a little bit of this down, but this is not snowman type snow. It's very, very light and airy, much like you'd want to ski on, let's say, if you were in Colorado, Utah, or California. But this is the kind of stuff that's obviously going to make for some blowing and drifting snow problems tomorrow. Now, all the major thoroughfares here in and around Chicago are open, but they are very, very slushy, much like we have tonight here in Dearborn Street. And that's what you're going to find if you're heading out. A lot of people, I would suggest, if you have to go out and get some rations for the next couple of days, you may want to walk to the grocery store because all those parking lots have not been plowed and you will probably not find any place to park. Well, all this has got to go somewhere, and it's heading into the Northeast. Perhaps more ice than snow. Let's find out how they're going to cope with it in the Capital District. Here's Mike Seidel in Albany with a live report. Mike?
And Jim, tonight we're awaiting our first few flakes of this storm. So far, it's just clouded over tonight. Our temperature now has actually gone up from 7 to 8 degrees. I know, a big deal, but that's a sign that the clouds are overhead and beginning to act as a bit of a blanket. We're not going to get nearly as cold as last night. It was 10 below zero this morning here in Albany. Very cold morning across in the interior of New York and New England. Now, we do see some snow coming in after midnight, but it will change over to sleet and freezing rain. And it's the freezing rain that has the most, that has us really concerned tonight as far as causing problems. Not only on the roadways, but the freezing rain will accumulate on the limbs and the trees. They could come down on power lines and knock out your power. So you may want to think of an alternative source to stay warm, whether a portable heater or going over to friends' houses just in case your power goes out. Of course, we'll be on top of this and we'll be back on in the morning, keeping you posted on road conditions and any possible other problems as the storm moves into the Northeast tomorrow. New York City, you're looking much better. A small period of freezing precipitation, then it will go over to rain.
Okay, Mike Seidel, thank you very much. We'll check back with you in 30 minutes. And we're lucky to have our winter weather specialist here with us tonight. This is Paul Cosin, and you're going to give us a little bit more insight as we examine a couple of radars on, first of all, what's happening right now and what folks can expect, because the Northeast is going to get very messy by tomorrow.
It's already starting to look a little messy even right now.
All right, let's start in the Great Lakes region.
Okay, in the Great Lakes region, we still have our surface low situated in northwestern Ohio. And we still have a very strong demarcation between rain, freezing rain, and snow. Right now at 8 o'clock, the line between the rain and the freezing rain exists across northern Indiana through northern Ohio and back into West Virginia. So anything south of this line is rain. If we look to the north of that region, basically on a line like this, everything in this area right here is what's called freezing rain. And everything you see in the greens here from Michigan on into Wisconsin and northern Illinois is basically heavy snow. Lighter snows in Illinois and Wisconsin, heavier snows in Michigan.
Paul, we've established that the heaviest snow is over for Chicago. They may see a few more inches, but it's basically a light snow and a blowing snow event. Who overnight, as far as the snow is concerned, is going to see the most significant snowfall?
The most significant snowfall is probably going to exist over the peninsula of Michigan. Most of southern Michigan has seen already a lot of heavy snow, and it looks like much of the lower peninsula will be seeing a continuation of that heavy snow overnight. We're still seeing some of the darker greens across northern Illinois and into Wisconsin, and some light to moderate snows may continue throughout the night as well.
Okay, let's go ahead and take another radar perspective, and this will take us up around Raleigh-Durham, where we've had a little bit of freezing rain. And you were mentioning earlier that some of that freezing rain is approaching D.C.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we're starting to get reports just south of the Washington area, a little bit of light drizzle, like freezing drizzle. Charlottesville, Virginia is 19 degrees and raining, so we're seeing lots of problems in western Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and even into northeastern Georgia. The line that separates the rain from the freezing rain in this area extends across West Virginia, down across this area of North Carolina into northeastern Georgia, northwestern South Carolina, and then right up into southeastern Virginia.
And some of that has actually been occurring in parts of northeast Georgia, causing some problems as well.
Right. As a matter of fact, in northeastern Georgia and northwestern South Carolina, we're looking at moderate to heavy freezing rain.
Okay. Thank you very much, Paul Kosten. Again, we're going to keep you updated on the very latest, and a reminder, too, that if you happen to be away from your television...